Hi everyone, Scrappy Kathy here with a layout share, and this is 2 Tuesdays in a row I've done the layout share, so yay me. There are 13 pages here, and it includes the last of the road trip pages and a couple of extra pages I made just yesterday. And I'm very happy with a couple of these. They marked some special occasions. The anniversary of Ava's ringing the bell. And then there's a page that I made that's a happy page, but it's for a sad reason. And you'll probably see more Jimmy Buffett pages in the future. I've started a search to try to put together kind of some of the concert experiences and so forth. But anyway, I will start on these. This was an extra page I did. It was it was not an extra page I did. It was about, I think it was day 29. It was an extra road trip page for day 29. And this is a filtered version of a collage that I made in the car. And it has all of these photos from the dinosaur miniature golf. And this sign that says soup of the day, beer. So I thought that was funny. And of course we have the obligatory bad selfie. And there's a photo I took of John with a dinosaur and a photo of John took of me with the dinosaur. And I don't know, for some reason this paper from Spectrum Gardenia, 49 in Market, it just had the exuberance that I saw in this page. And there was some purple in the filtered version, so I included some scraps of purple paper. This is also the last of the pages I made for the Mind the Scrap Summer Challenge. I'm going to move these over here so that I can put the finished ones there. This is a page I made for Off the Board with Pineapple Papers, and it's where you take a Pinterest pin and you let yourself be influenced by it. In this case, usually I do something of a scrap lift. In this case, I was inspired by the page. What I liked was this map that showed their route, and the route that I was kind of showing was fairly similar. So I printed a much smaller map and I mounted it on one of these frames. I used several Vicky Boutin frames from Where To Next. And this was kind of a description. We left Niagara Falls, we crossed into the U.S., we passed through Pennsylvania, we saw the New River Gorge in West Virginia, and being in Morgantown, West Virginia, it reminded me of when I had been there before at University of West Virginia for a Women's Student Government Conference. And so I Googled Jerry West, who was present at the university. He wasn't going to the university, but everywhere on the university, they talked a lot about him. And his name was painted on the gym floor. And that's when I learned that this NBA logo was from a photo of Jerry West. And I thought that was kind of cool. And we took a bad selfie in front of the West Virginia sign. We spent the night in West Virginia just by the Virginia border, and then went on through Virginia the next day. So this is one of those everything, just throw everything on the page kind of pages. And I don't know, I just love it. I, I have made quite a few busy, and I'm gonna say this not to be self-deprecating, but it's because they're poorly designed, not not ugly, just there's all the design rules have been broken, and I don't care, because this kind of represents, obviously, to take this many pictures on a day that we were on the road. We stopped a lot, and it wasn't this that we were going home. It wasn't our vacation, the vacation part, but we got some pretty flowers and got to see a national park, and I don't know. It was just I like pages like this because they represent the spirit of the trip. This one is a better design. It has just one photo, and it's got the T. I've kind of followed some rules there. And I love it too, but I look at this one. This one's crazy. This was a goofy photo, came up in James's memories of Ava sitting there just, playing peekaboo by putting crackers in front of her eyes. And she was 3. So this was, I remember this. I remember those plates. I remember those IKEA forks. This brought back a memory of when we were first in this house. This was our, this was the reflections on the last day. This was the odometer when we got home, 8,195.2 miles. So a little over 8,000 miles. And this was the kind of the foggy start to the morning when we were leaving West Virginia and going into Virginia. And then we took this sign at the, I don't think we saw a welcome to Virginia sign when we crossed over, or else I'd have a photo of it. Or a selfie in front of it. This is us in front of the North Carolina sign, and this is the South Carolina sign, and the next thing you know, we were in Georgia and home. And it's busy because I use this Cartopia paper for the banners on top of this map paper, and it's kind of hard to see even though I put the border around it. I included embellishments that brought back memories of previous days on the trip, the baseball logos, the mountains, and the cactus, luggage, and I don't know. It's a goofy page, and I love it. And then here's one that's completely different. This was for Mixed Media Mayhem, and I stenciled these on with the Cosmic watercolors, and I used a domed applicator. And I just reminded myself I was doing something, and I think I dropped that applicator. And it's on the floor, and I'm not gonna find it until I sweep, I guess. But I love this photo. I don't think I had ever seen this photo before. It came up in James's memories of her holding her big rainbow dash, My Little Pony doll, as he was taking her to preschool. And you can see the trees in the park there along the way. So I like that page. And this is another page about Ava. I haven't had Ava on my mind because she's here this week, and it's also the anniversary of, I've got a squirrel there. I don't have a squirrel on this one. It's also the anniversary of her ringing the bell, the cancer-free bell. And so I think I'm going to use this squirrel. I've had some reminders that I forgot. Squirrels or my overlapping hearts or ladybugs, or I thought surely I could lift this sticker and tuck it under the sticker like so, and then put the sticker back. Okay, that works. And then this is, oh, okay, I'll tell you about the title of this is Best Tea Ever. And she's wearing a tee that I had made up for everybody in 2014 when Barrett was in an invitational football tournament, the first invitational football tournament that he was invited to. And in 2014, he was 10. So I guess that's, they'll tell you the level of competition, but he was a star for sure. And I had this picture of him that was taken earlier in the season, and for Ava's it said Barrett is my big brother. For Katie's it said Barrett is my little brother. And Katie's and Allie's said that, and for James it said Barrett is my son. I even made myself one that said Barrett is my grandson, but I didn't get to go to that tournament. John and I stayed back. I forget why, but I hated that we missed it. But James made like one of those right after work, right after school, yanking the kids and driving all night and going to the game and then driving, all day, coming back home. And I think John and I just weren't up to that. So this is for Stamp It Like It's Hot, a series that happens on the first Saturday of every month. And I stamped all these stars and put the photo cluster all in one of these envelopes like it was a letter from Barrett at Basic Training. And that's our first photo of him. It was obviously taken by someone quickly when they weren't supposed to be taking a photo because it chopped off the heads, but I love it anyway. So we've since gotten some photos of Barrett that were screenshot from a video chat that he was having with his girlfriend. She snapped some photos. So these are the pages that were made celebrating Ava ringing the bell. This was in 2021, and a year later, this was Ava shopping for a dress for the homecoming dance. And I have a squirrel on this one. I don't think I have a squirrel on that one. So let me find one that's the right color scheme. And I will put it on here. These baby squirrels were all punched out of different pattern papers and sent to me by Suzanne Madison, and I love them, and I try to remember to use them on all her pages. And this is the Jimmy Buffett page, and there's a sunflower and a turtle and lots of palm trees and a ragtop car for a ragtop day, and flip-flops for the Margaritaville song, and lots of memories here. I love these gold rub-ons. I don't think I had ever used those before, and I love them. That was a photo of John and me at our last concert together, which happened to be a Jimmy Buffett concert, and that was a photo taken from the Jumbotron at that amphitheater, and that's the same amphitheater that Barrett just graduated from high school in May of this year. This was John's birthday present in 2019, and so I guess that would have been 72, and we had been with Ava at the hospital all day, and we really didn't want to go to the concert. We had bought the tickets long before we had her diagnosis, and they insisted that we go, so we, scooted home, changed clothes. He's wearing a Hawaiian shirt that he bought at a Margaritaville beach hotel, our Margaritaville beach hotel in Pensacola, which is no longer a Margaritaville hotel, but that's another story. And we went to the concert, and then we went back up to the hospital. So I love this page. It'll probably end up being framed and on the wall. This one is a page about Patrice, and it's a scrap backwards page, and I started with this paper, which I don't particularly like. It's the red is not red enough, and the red that it is doesn't, to my eyes, doesn't quite go with that pink in the background, and I think I like the other side even less. So instead of throwing this away, I thought, let me see if I can combine it with some other things. And I thought you add a little black and white to almost anything, and it makes the colors look better. So without that black and white, with the black and white, I just think it's night and day. And I had this little scrap, and I thought, well, that's completely different, so let's pull that in. And then this was the branding strip, I think, to the black and white paper. Yeah, I think so. So it was a branding strip to one of these papers. And so I thought I'd put it there because it seemed to reflect to me, it was an afterthought after I had selected the photo. So anyway, I selected those things, and then went to find a photo that had something that would look good with those colors. And the red here is a lot more vivid than the red here, but it seemed to work, especially repeating the red up here. This is a bird from a basic gray collection called Kissing Booth. It was a Valentine collection. And every year about this time, I anticipate that the elementary school is going to be doing a lot of projects for the holidays. And so I go through my holiday stash and purge things that I've already used the other copy of, or that I consider to be extras. And I donate to them. And I ran across this, and I kept that sticker sheet. I just love it. And the rest were things that were already in my Mind the Scrap kit. I somehow thought that these purple flowers could work, and there's no purple anywhere else on the page, and I love them. I did match up this teal color with that sticker. I cut it in half. I really like that page. And here's another busy page. This was when I found the collage that I used here, I also found these 3 collages. This one is photos I took in the Aero car over the whirlpool at Niagara Falls. This one is all the baseball stadiums that we visited on the trip. And these were some of the flora and fauna that we saw along the way. Some of the best photos of the flowers. And this was a scene that was similar to scenes we saw. I have a picture of a rock formation that looks very much like that was in Wyoming. And of course, we had the dinosaur golf, and I saw the dinosaur statue in South Dakota in Kadoka, and we had there was the elk statue called Scrappy, and I can't say that we were actually on Route 66, but we were Route 66 adjacent, so I included that sign. And then the visit our national parks, because though we didn't make it to many, we did make it to a few, including that River Gorge on the way home, or the new River Gorge in West Virginia, and of course Mount Rushmore, and we kind of drove past the entrance, one of the entrance gates to Yellowstone, so. kind of national park adjacent again. So again, a busy, poorly designed page that works as a really obtuse version of a grid, and I love it. I love how this flower kind of goes over this border of this green paper, and the van kind of goes over this side, and I don't know. It's just goofy. Then this is the last page I made this week. It has a map with our route. We started here, went up to Cincinnati, over to St. Louis, Kansas City, Denver. Spent the night in Green River, Wyoming. Not at all our plan. We were going to be in Utah, and we were going to spend the night in Salt Lake. Went on over to Winnemucca, Nevada, to down to San Francisco, and then to Oakland, and we spent the night in Willits, California, and then up to Newport, Oregon, and went to Portland, spent a couple nights there, and up to Seattle, and then from Seattle over to Missoula, Montana, and then to Sheridan, Wyoming, and down to Mount Rushmore at Rapid City, South Dakota, and then up to Minneapolis, over to Milwaukee, down to Chicago, up to Detroit, then to Toronto, then Niagara Falls. And from Niagara Falls, we started our trip down, and we ended up in Princeton, West Virginia, which is right near the Virginia border. And then on, you saw the photos today from North Carolina and South Carolina. I have us bypassing South Carolina here. The highway actually led us into South Carolina and then over to Atlanta. And so that was our trip. And I used this image because I love it, and I was determined I was going to use it on somehow. This is a Stephen Duncan. All of these 2 pages, all the images you see are Stephen Duncan. For I think that's Cartopia. This may be for Road Trip, and this I think is Cartopia. That's Road Trip. This is from the sticker sheet, and this from the sticker sheet for home run. So, and I had to include this photo of our, on the very last day, brushing our teeth for the last time on the road. We absolutely drained the toothpaste tube dry. And I took a picture of it before we threw it away. So anyway, that's it. I will be doing a couple more. I'll be making new collages of all the photos of Mount Rushmore and all the photos of Niagara Falls. And I'll have those 2 pages. I'll probably place them. These 2 are going to be at the end of the book. I'll place those probably in with adjacent to the pages from when we visited those places. And I'm also planning to go back and do a collage of all the food and try to identify where we were and write some story. And that may be 2 pages. So there will be a couple more pages in the road trip album. And I have, in the last couple postings, I have included, well, actually in the video for these 2 pages, I've included a link to the playlist that has all the road trip videos, so that it was kind of for my own organization that I did that. And I've had a couple people ask, I just joined your road trip now, how can I see all the others? And so the playlist will help that happen. So thank you very much for watching, and again, thank you all for joining me on this journey, and I'll see you around. Bye. Right here on my desk, I have some of the new challenges. I'm going to jump right into Scraptember, and I've done the first and second prompt. I haven't done third, fourth, and then today is the 5th. So I'm going to have to catch up on those, and I will be making videos for all of those and posting them around. So thanks for watching. Bye.